Hola, tudo bem, konnichiwa, aloha, como estas? Hello, what it do? Welcome to the J-Boy Sports Podcast, and what we're going to talk about today is a guy named Nick Wright, who's actually always Nick wrong, because he's terrible. I'm sick and tired of Nick Wright. I don't even listen to his show because I can't stand him. I really can't. He's one of the people that annoys me the most in the media. Just absolutely, he's such a Lebron worshiper that it makes me want to throw up. It actually makes me sick. And what you'll notice about these LeBron worshipers is everybody else is a problem. Anybody that doesn't bow down to the tabernacle and synagogue of LeBron James is a problem. So they're up for execution, right? So if you say anything against LeBron, or if they can use you to talk bad, to raise up LeBron by making you look worse, they're going to put you on that stake and they're going to kill you on that stake, right? They're going to execute you right there. And the word, I don't want to use that word. That's not the best word to use. But at the end of the day, that's what they're going to do. They're going to put you on that stake and they're going to sacrifice you to whatever, to the God of LeBron, to the soul of LeBron, or whatever it is that they worship. But it's really just disgusting behavior. And this clown had something to say about Russ that was inappropriate and just not true, man. And nowhere have you ever heard that Russell Westbrook was a cancer to a team, or that coaches did not like him. I've never heard that. Not from one person. But Nick Wrong wants to call out Russ for getting coaches fired. Right? Now, it's a free country. It's freedom of speech. You can say that. And you could say, oh, well, this is still a fact that the last couple coaches he's with got fired. Fine. But when you add zero context, you're trying to sway people in a direction to make him look bad. And it all started because Russ was on the Lakers. LeBron wanted him, and it didn't work out. Right? Because LeBron don't really want to come off that ball. And he's doing it now with Luka, but also Austin Reeves is playing out of his mind too. Right? And it's just, you know, he is playing off the ball with Luka. I got to give LeBron that. I can't say anything about that. But they also don't have AD anymore. So if they had AD and they had Luka and they had Bron, it might look a little different. So to that extent, I'm not going to take a shot at LeBron for this, but I will say that LeBron did not want to come off ball enough with Russ and make it work that way. He is doing that with Luka, but AD ain't there no more. Somebody always has to pay when they're playing with LeBron. And usually it is the big man. But in this case, it was Russ. And the bad-mouthing, the disrespect of Russ was just disgusting. But I blame Russ, too, because he should have never did that. He should have stayed at OKC. He should have never left. And unfortunately, he did. And, you know, his career hasn't been the same since, in my opinion. But let's listen to what Nick Wright had to say. Nick Wrong. And I'm going to explain why this made me mad. Check it out.
All I said is somebody's overjoyed.
When someone gets
Could have
fired.
been either.
I do think
certainly not me.
I do think that comeuppance sometimes happens, and I do think those of us that warned folks that said, I don't know, man, where Russ goes, guys usually lose their jobs.
Well, that's not great.
Like that.
And so this is what he just said. And, you know, this guy's capping, and he's a hater, man. He's just a hater. Disrespecting Russ to raise up LeBron James, who he doesn't even play with anymore, is disgusting work. Nick Wright, you look like a clown. Literally, you sound like one and you look like one. Your hair looks stupid. You look dumb. And I'm sick and tired of acting like this guy is some type of, like, he has some type of knowledge or something that nobody else does. And he has some intricate way that he looks at stuff. He's a LeBron James plant. And he looks like a clown. And if you saw this guy in real life doing anything, you would say he looks like a doofus. And I don't feel bad about calling him names because that's all he does to everybody else. All he does is make fun of other people and treat them bad. And I'm tired of the constant disrespect and nonsense. Russ is a great player. He's one of the best players we've ever seen. At times he makes some knucklehead plays. I'll give you that. But a lot of players have had their best seasons playing with Russ. Joker just had his best season. Who was on his team? Russ. As far as the coaches are concerned, that has nothing to do with him, man. That has nothing to do with him. And what coaches he was mentioning, the only ones I can definitely think of off the back are Frank Vogel and Mike Malone. But if you check out my videos on Mike Malone, there's a lot going on with the Mike Malone stuff. And it wasn't they're trying to say Russ has something to do with it, and maybe he did to an extent, but Russ didn't do anything bad that made that happen. All Russ ever did was try to win. Same thing with Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel just won a championship. They didn't even run it back with the team they won a championship with. LeBron wanted Russ. And now because it didn't work out, because you weren't willing to make the sacrifices, because your God, Nick Wrong, your God, your boyfriend, your BFF, wasn't comfortable making certain sacrifices for them to win, they lost. With Carmelo Anthony and all these other people on that team, they were losing. But it's just Russ's fault, right? Get out of here, man. Get the heck out of here. This guy's a clown and a loser. In fact, let's listen to another clip where an NBA executive, who's no longer an executive, but he was, is talking about what Russ brings to a team.
One thing I really don't like, I have a lot of disrespect for Russell Westbrook. 4 of the 5 last head coaches that Russ has played for have either quit or been fired the year after coaching him, right? A lot of people are running around saying, oh, Russell Westbrook is the reason he's fired, so on and so forth. That is absolutely not the case. They signed Russell Westbrook to a minimum contract, and he has outperformed every expectation people had for him in Denver. But I just want to put that narrative to bed that Russell Westbrook gets coaches fired. That's completely false.
And I want to add to that. When you have a guy that lays it on the line every single time he hits the floor, practice, games, playoff games, I mean, he lays it all on the line. That's what you want. The energy, the effort. What I know about Russell Westbrook, he cares about competing and winning. Yeah, that is totally false.
So like the NBA executive said, and I forgot his name, I have to make sure I mention his name next time. It's completely false. It's untrue. It's not fair. You know what I mean? The constant bashing of Russell Westbrook has to stop. It's always been disrespectful. Maybe he turns the ball over too much at times and makes some boneheaded plays at times, but you're being disrespectful to call the man the reason that coaches are getting fired. If everybody played as hard as Russell Westbrook, no coach would ever get fired, because at worst, it would look like your team gives a dang, like they're trying their hardest. A lot of these NBA players come out here, they go through the motions, they look terrible, they don't play no defense. All they care about is their money and their brands. They don't even relate to the average person. They don't even want to work hard for their money. You never watched Russ play a basketball game and said, you know what, he don't want to work for it. He gets into stuff with fans now sometimes, and I don't like that, but nobody's perfect. He wore a dress once, and I didn't like that either. I hope it was a kilt. I don't know. But that's 2 mistakes out of everything that this man has given to the game, his heart and soul. He has a foundation that he does real well with. Him and his wife provide housing for people that are struggling with it. Russ is a good dude, man. All he does is work hard and hold people to a standard. He's not the one that ran away from OKC like Kevin Durant did. So to sit here and blame Russ for everything is disgusting, and I'm tired of it. And I've been wanting to make a video for a long time, and I finally got my hands on a topic where I could actually bring this up. But the Russ disrespect is stupid, and I'm getting tired of it. The man is the first person we ever seen just straight up average double-doubles in his sleep. And you could call it what you want. I never saw stat padding because I saw a man playing hard trying to win. When did you see Russ not giving 100% effort? In fact, the man gives so much effort, that's why them turnovers happen sometimes. Because he's doing too much. He's trying to push it too much. I wish Russell would have went to Miami. And if it doesn't work out in Denver, I hope he goes to Miami next year. Because if he goes to Miami, I think with that culture and the way they play, he could really set himself up to be coached properly and really have a consistent game. I don't feel like Russ has ever really had a coach that could sit him down and be like, this is the way we need to play. Slow this down a little bit. Do this a little bit. He's always been a freak athlete. But if Russ had the right tutelage, somebody to just help him control his game a little bit more, I mean, I think he could be amazing. He already was amazing, but I think he could really be a winner. And we'll see what happens with the Nuggets this year. I've liked the connection between him and Joker. They don't start him. I think they should start him. But, whatever. But at the end of the day, Nick Wrong constantly riding Russell Westbrook, pause note. In fact, there probably is some Diddy because he's a weirdo. All right? Constantly riding Russ for false allegations of getting coaches fired. Mike Malone, before he got fired, only ever said great things about Russ. Right? And the other guy is Darvin Ham. I'm sorry. It was Darvin Ham, right? Where they said he got fired. Darvin Ham called Russ back and said, "Hey, Russ, you were right. We should have did some more things that you said we should have did to build up camaraderie, to make our team tighter, to make us better on the court." And you're going to sit up here, Nick, wrong and say all these bad things about Russ. I wish I had more bad things to say about you, Nick. But, I've already said everything I have to. You're a clown that plays in a circus, that worships LeBron James, your boyfriend, your BFF. You worship that man like he's your god. You're also a fraud because at one point you didn't have LeBron ranked as high as you do now. But you bought into the Kool-Aid, you're bought and paid for, and you're a clown. And I hope you hear this message. And you may say to yourself, "Oh, I got more money than this guy. I'm on TV. He's just on YouTube." Whatever, man. Just know that a lot of us, there's more regular people like me that think you're trash than there are of you who think you're great. So keep being trash, boy, because that's all you are. Russ, if you ever hear this, shout out to you, my brother. You're one of my favorite players of all time. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. If you look at my life, I've made mistakes. But I always rock with you, man. Just like Charles Barkley says, you play as hard as you possibly can, and the league would be blessed to have more players that had the heart and the care and concern like you do. And I also saw a video not too long ago where Michael Jordan was even giving you praise for how hard you play because of the passion you play the game with. There's nobody that ever saw Russ play that said, "You know what? I don't think he's playing hard enough." So everybody that wants to badmouth him, you can kick rocks, find a bridge, do whatever you want to do. Jump in it, take a swim, cool off, calm down, touch grass, all those sayings. Get the heck out of here. So Russ, shout out to Russ. Salute to that guy for playing hard for as long as he has. And for the Nick Wrongs of the world, kick rocks. You're trash. No one cares what you have to say. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of the J Boy Sports Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to Russ once again for hanging in there through the nonsense, because it's all just nonsense. All right? And I will say, yes, Russ, keep working on your jump shot, which has been a little better this year. I don't know what happened because you used to have a crazy jumper. So, but to be straight up calling this man, out of his name and messing up his last name, come on, man. Come on, man. And especially if you're a fan doing that when you see him in person, you're a clown. Because in real life, you wouldn't want that sauce. You know what I mean? Don't be disrespectful. I don't believe... You can call people bad. You can boo them, whatever you want. Make a shot. All that stuff is fine. But when you're calling people outside of their name, that's disrespectful. Because you wouldn't do that to a regular man on the street. You know what I mean? So, again, shout out to Russ. I hope you have success in the playoffs. And like, share, and subscribe. I'm very humble. Thank you very much for your time. Much love. That somehow you never get over me.